I want to talk to you about Flagship Merchant Services Card Processing. And so here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. So when you think about Flagship Merchant Services credit card processing, I want you to think about a California-based credit card processor that was actually established in 2001. So it's been nearly, more than 2 decades now. So they have some kind of footprint in the industry. And what we love about Flagship Merchant Services is that the company has a declared interest in supporting small and medium-sized businesses. And Flagship offers agreements on a month-to-month basis. So there's no sort of, you're not really tied into a long-term contract. Okay. And but the only thing we don't like with Flagship is that they do not make their pricing available publicly, and they want you to actually contact their customer rep to actually have more information. So do we recommend Flagship Merchant Services for all kinds of small businesses? No. We recommend Flagship Merchant Services for those who want no application fees and free terminals to start, businesses in need of 24/7 support, and those who don't want contract termination fees, and if free equipment is not accepted. Now, we do not recommend Flagship Merchant Services for those looking for upfront pricing, those who want the credit card processing company to take care of PCI compliance, and those who want flexibility with early termination or free equipment-based contracts. So it's one of those things where when you think about Flagship Merchant Services credit card processing, I want you to think about a company that offers a variety of credit card processing solutions across on-premise, virtual, and mobile platforms. So the flexibility is there, the scalability potential is there also. Pricing and hardware information are difficult to evaluate without the assistance of a Flagship sales rep. And Flagship has actually developed a partnership with Clover to offer hardware devices for customers, though other device options are available as well. So if you go with the Flagship, you can actually have access to all kinds of equipment pieces, okay? And retail and restaurants businesses are actually advertised as the brick and mortar companies best suited for Flagship's credit card processing solutions, though Flagship also supports e-commerce and virtual terminal solutions. And so overall, basically, when you think about Flagship, think about a solid player that's been in the industry for more than 20 years. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let's talk about pricing here. So when we think about Flagship Merchant Services, what are the pricing you should really think about? First of all, Flagship does not offer much visibility into pricing on its websites or in its marketing materials. Okay. I think I've said this before. So in terms of transparency, they're not really big there. Instead, what they do is the company prefers that new and existing customers reach out to their sales team to obtain detailed hardware or processing fee information. They want you to contact them. And Flagship also offers to send a business a $200 American Express gift card if the lowest total processing cost is not provided. And it also offers a Refer a Merchant program that gives $100 for a successful reference. So basically, the thing is that although hardware costs are not revealed online, the company does offer a free terminal with any contract. However, if the contract is canceled, the equipment return policy can incur additional expenses. So be very careful if you want to go with this sort of this freebie, okay? And the equipment packaging must be unopened and returned at the expense of the business within the first 30 days of purchase, with the business being charged a 15 to 25% restocking fee. And all hardware must be returned in its original packaging. Now, per transaction costs are not listed in any public-facing location. So a comparison to other credit card processors in our research was not really possible, okay? But one thing we want to tell you for sure is that Flagship is not the cheapest. That's what it is, okay? Flagship is not the cheapest, and so be ready to actually fork over a certain amount if you were to go with the Flagship anyway. And the Flagship works closely with Authorized.net, which does post its transaction fees. So there is no setup cost for Authorized.net, and both of its advertised plans offer a monthly payment gateway for $25. And the all-in-one option offered by Authorized.net charges 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction fee. So this is kind of cool. And the payment gateway only plan charges a flat rate of 10 cents per transaction plus an additional 10 cents daily batch fee. So you have some kind of flexibility there. But one thing I want to say here is that the lack of visibility into associated fees and hardware pricing will make it challenging for a business to research costs without first going through a sales rep. It is what it is. So when you think about Flagship, I want you to really think first about the fact that you have to contact a sales rep. You got to give them their information. They're going to ask you questions before quoting you. You can't really do independent research anyway. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Flagship. So this is a Flagship Merchant Services Credit Card Processing Review. Let's talk about the setup here. So when you think about the Flagship Merchant Services, what are the setup you need to really think about? Well, first of all, let's talk about the hardware options. The hardware options offered by Flagship Merchant Services are fairly comprehensive in our view, and they consist largely of Clover-based devices. But again, pricing information is not readily available without first speaking to a sales rep. So the devices offered, those devices range widely from mobile devices and handheld card readers to full-scale POS systems. Everything depends upon the setup that you have in your business. And so let me quickly talk to you about some of the hardware options that are available to Flagship customers. So you have Clover Flex, you have Clover Station, you have Clover Mini, you have Clover Go, and you have Mobile Pay. By the way, as I said before, you have access to other brands, but the thing is that Flagship over the years has developed a tighter relationship with Clover. So when you think about Clover Flex, this can be used as a handheld or countertop device, is cellular and Wi-Fi enabled, and includes a scanner for reading QR codes. It can accept EMV, NFC, PIN code, and swipe payments, and includes a Clover Suite and printer integration. You also have the Clover Station. This includes all of the Clover Flex options while adding a customer database, sales and employee management, inventory, encryption, and over 200 apps to cover almost any business model. So this is kind of cool. You have the Clover Mini. Here you have touch screen with signature capture, front-facing camera. You have integrated thermal printer, and connectivity options cover wired, wireless, and cellular options with encryption and access to the same 200 apps available with Clover Station. You also have the Clover Go. So this provides a frontline capable mobile payment options that works with Apple and Android devices. It works on wireless or cellular connections to accept EMV chip cards with transactions linked to the Clover dashboard. And you also have the Mobile Pay. So this is actually the only hardware option offered by Flagship outside of Clover-based devices. It integrates within the iPayment mobile app, which includes a newly revamped user experience. So this is kind of cool. So really, you can see that you have a diversity of pieces of equipment here, but please make sure that before you sign up for the free equipment, read the contract really well. Now, let's talk about the mobile app. So when you think about Flagship Merchant Services, of course, there is a mobile app. And the Mobile Pay app presents business owners with virtual terminal capabilities, and Flagship offers access to reports, statements, transaction management, and the ability to set custom user permissions. So if you have a busy storefront and you really want to have a clear idea what's really happening in terms of accountability, you will love this sort of mobile app, and also the authorization tiers within this mobile app. And Mobile Pay can be easily complemented with the iPayment Mobile Pay swipe device, which can swipe away an EMV cards using a mobile device. So this is kind of cool. And in terms of integration, you are pretty well served also when it comes to Flagship Merchant Services. So basically you have integrations to Clover. Of course, I spoke about Clover when it comes to POS. This is actually one of the major integrations that you have with Flagship Merchant Services. You also have integrations to Authorize.net. So this is kind of cool. In terms of their API, you have some kind of open API there. You also have integrations to QuickBooks Online Pro. You also have Omni Analytics reports. You have Xero. You have Intuit QuickBooks. You have Wave. This is kind of cool. You have FreshBooks in some cases. This is kind of cool. In terms of e-commerce, for instance, you have integrations to the likes of WooCommerce, WordPress. You have BigCommerce. You have Equid. You have you also have OpenCard. And in terms of customer service, you have Zendesk. Oh, by the way, when it comes to e-commerce, I forgot to mention, you have integrations, of course, to Shopify. So if you have a Shopify store, you can really use Flagship Merchant Services for your credit card processing. Not a problem. Okay. And in terms of, so there are other integrations. You have Deja Vu, you have First Data, you have Swipe Simple. So this is kind of cool. So bottom line here is what? Bottom line is when you choose Flagship Merchant Services, you actually have access to a wide constellation of integrations that can really, really help you scale and scale your business for a very long time. So this is kind of cool. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Flagship Merchant Services. So this is a Flagship Merchant Services credit card processing review. When it comes to credit card processing, it's really important when you analyze a provider to also pay attention to the add-on services. So let's quickly analyze all the add-on services that Flagship Merchant Services offer. So what they offer. So the Flagship Merchant Services website mentions several different options categorized into 6 main areas. So this is kind of cool in terms of industries. We love that. We love the comprehensiveness here. So you have a retail, restaurants, P.O.S. system. You have smart terminals. You have EMC and NFC, e-commerce, and phone mail order. So much of the information is similar across all 6 options, although the mobile and non-present options disclose fraud and identity protection features. And a couple of application suites, Clover and iPayments, are offered but are depending upon the type of hardware selected. It is not transparent what outside of the basics is included within these packages or whether or not extended warranties are offered. So it's one of those things where I think, as I said before, you're going to have to contact Flagship Merchant Services to have more information. And so the number and type of all add-ons offered by Flagship are not obvious without working with a sales rep. In terms of safety, we can tell you for a fact that Flagship Merchant Services is really safe, not a problem. And so Flagship clearly states that certification of PCI DSS compliance can only be done by an approved scanning vendor. Flagship Merchant Services offers multiple layers of fraud protection. So we love that a lot. So, and including address verification services, AVS. You also have CVV2, so the card verification values, and the ability to restrict transactions by the amount or by network location. So this is kind of cool. And so you have a 24/7 customer and technical support toll-free line are offered. Approved merchants gain access to their dedicated Flagship's dedicated website for reviewing transactions, running reports, or downloading statements. Although there is an FAQ section, it only covers basic questions and will not provide in-depth technical support or knowledge-based options. Let's talk about the competition here. So when you think about Flagship Merchant Services, what is the competition you need to really pay attention to? First of all, you have a lot of players in this industry. I mean, Flagship is not the only player. And so when you think about the competition, you got to think about Stacks, you got to think about Payment Depot, you got to think about Merchant One, you got to think about National Processing, of course, you got to think about Block. You got to also think about other players. So now, when we think about, let's go a little bit in detail in terms of the pricing. For Stacks, you have a monthly fee of $99 and up, online fee 0% plus 15 cents, swapped chip fee 0% plus 8 cents. For Payment Depot, you have a monthly fee of $79 that goes up, of course, depending on the setup you have. The online fee, you have interchange plus 15 cents. For the swapped chip fee, you have an interchange plus 15 cents also. And in terms of Merchant One, you have a monthly fee of $6.95 and up. There is no online fee mentioned. You also have a swapped fee, chip fee of 0.29%. That goes from 0.29% to 1.55%. For national processing, you have a monthly fee of $9.95, at least minimum here. And the online fee varies, and the swap chip fee also varies. You also have a block, formerly Square. So with block, it's pretty interesting because the block actually it's kind of cool if you are in the e-commerce sector primarily. The monthly fee actually varies here. Online fee 2.9% plus 30 cents, and the swap chip fee 2.60% plus 10 cents. Block is relatively more expensive than other players in this game when it comes to credit card processing. And so bottom line here is that you got to really first see what your needs are, right? And you want to go with Block or Stacks or Merchant One or National Processing or even Flagship for that matter, depending upon your transactional volume, but also upon the kind of business setup that you want. For instance, if you want to have a strong e-commerce presence, maybe Block, formerly Square, is the better player here. Let's talk about Flagship Merchant Services versus the competition. I want to go a little deeper into this comparison here, and I want to really look at two players. Let's first talk about PayPal. So Flagship Merchant Services versus PayPal. So when you think about PayPal, first of all, the monthly fee actually starts from zero. Online fee 1.50%. The swapped chip fee 2.70%. So PayPal offers advantages over Flagship Merchant Services in almost every area evaluated in our ratings. So overall pricing transparency is very important to small businesses, and PayPal is solid in this area. However, Flagship offers sign-up and referral rewards to its new and existing customers. Both offer robust e-commerce payments options, including embedded, secure buttons for donations or payments. And these e-commerce features offer comparable security and capabilities, though actually PayPal also offers an in-depth technical knowledge base and resource center for individuals, businesses, and developers. So this is kind of cool. And software integrations for both are limited but powerful. While Flagship relies heavily on Clover, PayPal Zettle gives PayPal users a way to create seamless transactions for in-person and virtual purchases. And both products offer business options to further enhance their POS toolkit by using other third-party applications. Hardware is one area where both processors are very similar in that they both rely on third-party relationships to provide POS software and POS hardware, by the way. And both Flagship and PayPal offer a constellation of e-commerce options, although PayPal offers more, in our view, more transparency into pricing than Flagship, which must be obtained by contacting a sales rep. So what about the Flagship versus Intuit QuickBooks, for instance? So when you think about QuickBooks, you have an online fee of 2.9% plus 25 cents, and you have a swapped chip fee of 2.40% plus 25 cents. And there's a monthly fee of $25 and up. So both Flagship and Intuit offer support for older and newer payment types and can support payment acceptance through a mobile terminal. So this is kind of cool. We love that a lot. And however, the companies also have some significant differences. The hardware options offered by Flagship and QuickBooks are comparable. That's pretty good. But Flagship's hardware comes through a third-party partnership with Clover. When evaluating pricing and fees, QuickBooks is highly transparent, while Flagship requires contact with a representative before disclosing any pricing specifics. While Intuit says it will accept higher risk accounts, Flagship takes the approach of apply and see. Okay, so those are things you have to really think about. And support options and hours also vary between the two companies. Flagship offers 24/7 customer and technical support options, while QuickBooks offers support during standard business hours only. It does, however, have a comprehensive knowledge base of articles posted on its website, while Flagship's online information is very limited. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. So this was a Flagship Merchant Services credit card processing review. And let me quickly do a recap here. So I gave you the overview of the service, the pricing, the setup, and the rivals. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.